Last time on Our Neighbor's a Murderer. 3 roommates continue the search for clues to find out if their neighbor across the street, Professor X, murdered his lover, Nancy. We rejoin the gang in their pursuit of truth on Our Neighbor's a Murderer.
Out the window late one night, we saw a terrifying sight. Our neighbor murdering his wife.
Allegedly.
We search for clues to find the truth.
Please help me.
To catch a killer on the loose.
There's blood everywhere.
Become the greatest roommate sleuths.
Anybody got any clues?
Welcome to Our Neighbor's a Murderer. We're back again on the job, on the case.
On the hunt.
On the hunt, looking for, but not like a murderer would be. We are on the good side of that equation.
No, we are the prey. He is the predator. I guess we still want to be the predator.
We're preying on clues. We're looking for clues.
We're praying for some clues.
Are the prey.
We're praying for clues.
I am Brandon, and with me today are my 2 roommates. There's Michelle.
Oh my gosh, am I like an official roommate?
No, still honorary.
Okay.
She lives across the hall from us, and Guy, who is my
actual
roommate.
But I kind of feel like I've been spending so much time here now that...
Yeah, ever since the fire in your place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was scary.
That was from the George Foreman grill.
Is that what you collect?
No.
Okay.
I thought it
What
was
if I
going to be
did
that.
just have a bunch of George Foreman grills?
That would explain why it was such a big fire.
It would.
Well, I thought it was going to be your weird candle collection that lights up whenever it pleases.
Oh my gosh.
Those candles that just turn on.
Those are really cool.
They're cool,
But come
until
with-
they're very, very hot.
They literally come with like a scroll of like warnings.
Yeah, there's more warnings than there are instructions.
Right.
I know, but what's life without a little risk? You know, I'm feeling that lately. Just light all the candles. Plug in all the
Really?
George Foremans.
Are you feeling that way because you're like at the end of your rope with something, or is that because like I'm living life now? Like, is it a good thing, or is it like you're frustrated and you just want to let go?
What's going on?
I think it's more that we're so close to thinking about death, you know, like because we're doing this case that I think lately I'm just kind of like, you know, that song, Live Like You Were Dying. And I have not gone skydiving because it's dangerous.
Okay, so like you're living it up, but only so much.
Only so much, so like lighting candles, making myself a grilled cheese.
Sure.
Living it up.
Speaking of nice scents, it looks like Professor X is spraying some Febreze.
He's been doing that a lot
he's
lately.
ruining Febreze for me.
You know, we could, first of all, speaking of it, like we need some here. We are out currently.
Oh,
we
yeah.
need some here.
It smells a little weird.
No.
He seems to be, I mean, his place is pristine. I don't know what.
Always
It's ever
smell
since
he's
he
getting.
murdered the mailman. He's been spraying Febreze.
We don't know if
believe
He
he might have
allegedly
murdered
definitely murdered
the
the mailman.
mailman's gone under interesting circumstances.
And
you
why is
had-
he Febrezing all of a sudden? Why would he have a
And
reason to
also the
Febreze?
mailman had a name, and it was Roger.
I know.
And it was there was also a nickname. What was the nickname that he had?
Well, I wasn't here last week, so I don't know.
I don't know. The guy who was here.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can't remember it.
Oh, hold on. I listened. Bucky.
Oh,
Is that it?
Oh.
maybe. So it was
Yeah.
something with a
Forget.
B.
Yeah, but
knows?
Roger.
That guy weirded me
But
out.
Roger.
Yeah.
No, but definitely like he wasn't spraying Febreze before Roger disappeared, and now he's spraying
Okay,
Febreze.
here's an idea. Roger is still in his apartment. Decaying corpse.
Oh my God! No,
Yep,
I know what
that's
I
what I
think
was
about
thinking.
that.
Decaying eyes falling out of his face.
I hate the mummy movies.
Teeth like coming loose and tongue swollen.
Yeah.
Fingernails look nice and trim, actually. Growing at a very slow rate.
If you would need a Reese to Febreze, it would be a decomposing Bucky's. Okay, so there may be a guy in there who.
Great, right?
Brandon, that was one of the weirdest things I've ever heard you say.
Well,
No,
okay.
I like it. My mom rhymes stuff all the time. She says you need hope to cope, and then she also says if it rhymes, it must be true. That one doesn't rhyme, but
Oh yeah, that's so. Then it must be a lie.
I always say for every rhyme, there's a place and time.
no, you don't.
I always say that, Michelle. Brandon, you hear me every time I come home. I say that.
Well, I can hear some kind of muffled speech in your room when you're by yourself, but I don't know what you're saying to yourself in there.
Oh, that's
What was it? What is it that you say all the time?
For every rhyme, there's a place and time. I say it all the
Did you just
time.
look at your palm right then when you said that? What's in your hand right now? Is there some writing on your hand, Guy?
Okay.
Have you written yet another saying that you're trying to remember on your hand right now?
Okay.
Guy really wants a catchphrase.
He wants
If
to
you want
so
a
badly.
joke to land, write it on your hand. I'm sorry, you guys.
Guy, you don't need a catchphrase. You just need to be yourself.
And from this moment on, I am.
Well, I'll tell you who else is going to be themselves today, and that is our next guest.
Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
We're very glad to have you here.
Why don't you introduce yourself really quickly?
For the listeners, we know you.
Okay. I am Denise Johnson.
Denise Johnson.
I am a flight attendant for American Airlines.
Oh, what a great airline. I've
Yes.
flown many a times on American.
Yes.
I sleep through flights, so I think it was good.
Well, you are my favorite type of passenger.
Oh my gosh, really? Yeah, I don't even eat the meals because I literally sleep, and it's like I time travel because I just wake up there.
Here's a question.
Okay.
Right off the bat. The button to call you. Annoying? Good? What are your feelings?
I think some people are under the assumption that I'm not just a flight attendant. I am their nanny. I am their stylist.
Their
I
mother.
am their mother. Yes, they're everything. So, people summon me for just about anything, and I'm just trying to get through my flight.
Okay, so from what I'm feeling, it's like kind of like you're not about it.
Well, there are some times where it's definitely needed, where, a passenger needs
A Band-Aid.
A Band-Aid. They don't know how to fully buckle up their seatbelt. They weren't paying attention during the demonstration.
I sleep through the demonstration.
Okay, now you're my least favorite
Oh,
passenger.
I knew it.
Quick turn.
Michelle, off on the wrong foot.
I know. I went from favorite to least favorite.
Oh, yeah.
I personally think the customer is always right is a disease in this country.
Okay,
Yes.
whoa, hot take.
I think it is one of the worst things to happen to the service industry because the customer is not always
Brandon,
right.
okay,
and it
just-
leads to entitlement.
guys, just
and
to-
let me tell you something.
Brandon,
if
one
you're
second.
come
Calm down.
to the restaurant where I was working and get me fired because, oh my God, you wanted a roll that was fluffier than the one I brought you, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that Brandon got a job 2 weeks ago as a waiter and already lost it. So he's feeling a little bit.
I
had
get
it
it.
taken from me. It was not lost. It
I'm
was
sorry.
taken.
You were fired.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
As you can
I'm
tell,
sorry.
this
I'm sorry.
apartment
Sorry.
is full of
I didn't mean to
drama.
make this about me.
no, it's
ahead.
okay.
All right, so you're a flight attendant. How long have you been?
So I've been flying the Friendly Skies for about 2.5 years now.
2.5 years. You must have been to some amazing places.
Well, sometimes I am. You see, when you first start, you're on something called reserve, which means they basically tell you where you're going at all times. And it's not like, you get a full schedule at the start of the month saying you're going to be going to Paris every week. It's very much you go to the airport and you sit there. You're on call from maybe 5 a.m. until 5 p.m. and
gross.
at some
And you don't know where you're going?
You don't know where you're going.
That's kind of fun, though. That's like an adventure. Like, oh my gosh, where am I
Well,
going?
Not too much of an adventure. The adventure is like you get to the airport and they get a call. They call you and say, okay, you're going from Chicago to Cleveland, then 1 hour layover in Cleveland, then you're going Cleveland to Seattle, and then you're flying 6 hours back to Chicago.
What do you have against Cleveland?
I don't have anything against Cleveland except for the people.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm from Michigan, so agree.
So charming. You said that, and I felt like it should have been offensive in some way, but
But no.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you're probably like really good at your job because like I'm always sleeping, but I'm sure people are usually very nervous on a flight, and you probably just make them feel calm and at home.
I definitely use my plain voice. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard United. American Airlines flight 1212.
Did you used to work on United?
For United.
It's one of my dark secrets. Not
But
the
it's
best.
still so ingrained in your memory.
Oh, yes.
We probably have to say it so many times.
Exactly. A million times
Okay.
over and over and over
Hot
again.
button issue. Hot
Okay.
button question. United or American?
This is, I want to say off the record. I mean, it is being recorded, but I assume your bosses don't listen to this, so you're free to speak.
Yeah,
I
there's not
assume no
many
one's
people.
listening.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Well, as disappointing as it is in today's times to be an American, it is pretty rewarding to fly for American. So I'm going to have to
Well
say that.
said. Well said. Well
That was
said.
almost a rhyme too. Like in some way, it was almost like a
And you know
it
what
was
I
lyrical
always
in a
say?
way.
For every...
It's smudging,
you
isn't it?
always say
I'm
it.
so sweaty and clammy, you guys. Okay, so...
Peanuts or pretzels?
Peanut, Michelle, that's what I was just going to ask.
Can I be honest? It's the Biscoff cookie.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Biscoff is the new peanut.
Can I just say
pretzel.
you're my favorite now?
Oh, stop.
If we're doing favorites, you're my favorite. Michelle, then you're next. And Brandon, you're somewhere.
I will say, though, I love the Biscoff cookie on American, but in the mornings, United does a little Stroop waffle, and I'd have to say that's the supreme.
What
Stroop
what does
waffles.
that mean?
Oh, they're
Is
so
that-
good. Go.
Is that
tell 'em.
before or after they drag you off the plane?
That
It's
is
to keep you quiet after.
Wait, Brandon, I feel like you knew a lot
No,
about
Stroop waffles are
waffles.
so good. Stroop waffles are the unsung snack. I
Today's
feel like.
word of the day is
Stroop waffles.
Go ahead, you tell them exactly what it is,
Oh,
because
yes.
they're one of
So
them.
it's like
Snack.
a Dutch delicacy. It's basically like a little Belgian waffle
Yep.
cookie,
Yes.
and it's smashed all the way down, and there's like caramel in between these two very thin cookie or waffle cookies, and they're crispy, they're sweet, they're
it's like a
amazing.
fancy
What they-
Oreo.
You can then get a cup of coffee.
I was just
set
about to
one
say.
on top of the coffee because they're big enough to like cover the top of a coffee, and then it heats up the caramel and makes them gooey.
Oh, my, like
Brandon,
a s'mores.
Where have you experienced these?
I bought them on Amazon because you can't find them almost anywhere around
I was
here.
gonna say
because
I've
people are
never
not
seen
enlightened.
a Strupel waffle.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I have to pick
Stroop-
up Amsterdam
stroopwafel.
layovers
Stroopwafel.
sometimes
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
get some fresh ones.
Right?
Wait
my
a second. Is that
gosh.
what all those packages we've been getting are?
I mean, primarily, I'm thinking back through my order history. Yes, the last like 3 or 4. Yeah.
Just strip off.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Do you have some in your cupboard?
Yeah.
Do you want one right now?
Yes, I would love to
Can
try
I try one as well?
Yeah, I'll get one. I'll get one for everyone. Don't worry.
Yes.
Thank
Oh
you.
my god, I'm so excited. I always want to try a Stroop waffle.
No.
Once I heard what it
While
was.
he's gone, I just want you to know, like, I don't want this to change your opinion on Brandon, but he does fly Delta. Just saying. I don't know.
Well, not everybody has the means to fly the Premier Airlines. Some
Okay,
people are
okay.
Spirit people. Some people are Delta people. I don't want to shit talk your roommate.
Oh my god,
Can we
thank you,
curse?
Brandon.
Oh, coming in hot for landing. Here you go. There's one
Oh.
for you.
I
and
love the
one
plane
for
pun you came in with.
Yeah, did you like that?
Yeah.
There's one for
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3 for me. I'm still not used to you doing that when you eat.
Yeah, Michelle.
I don't know why. Whenever I go on a date, people always are like, never going on another date with me. Whenever we go to get dinner.
That's definitely why.
Yeah.
Can
You
I
just
have one
answered your
more?
own question.
Yeah, you can have one of these here. When I went on my date,
Ow, a piece of it flew in my eye, Michelle. You're like a lawnmower.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was it a caramel piece?
It's melting in, so I think so.
Oh no, Brandon, these are so good.
Wait, I haven't even tried it yet.
try it.
What do you think?
That's gross too.
Charleston chew there.
That's worse than my thing.
Yeah.
That's way worse than my thing.
Why do I
Okay.
feel like that was not a genuine yum?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, that's how I
that a
react to
casual
all food.
I'm
That's,
just curious.
Brandon sees
and
me eat all the
she's
time.
seen a lot of people eat the Strupel waffles,
Stroop waffle.
so she knows.
I do. I am the Stroop waffle expert.
So maybe, I don't know, did that not feel real?
It was just such a succinct yum. There was
Yeah.
no elongating of the vowel.
Oh, like, yum.
Well, I think like the amount of time to taste to the reaction, like the
Right.
ratio there was off kilter.
I have, my doctor calls it slow taste buds. My brain doesn't register taste until 30 seconds after I've tasted, quote unquote, tasted something.
I have a cousin who's like that.
so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was an alcoholic.
Oh, is that what? Does that do that?
Was your mom one?
I don't know. I never met her.
Now we've put together a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, we broached the subject.
Guys,
Do you think that part of you searching for the answers to this mystery of Professor X is actually you searching for your mother?
Probably.
Okay, that also seemed weird, right?
Yeah,
like
that
the
was the
reaction of that
same
was
yell.
too succinct. It was too fast. Guy, I don't know.
You know, I sat beside this passenger. I sat across from him when I was on the jump seat of my last flight, and he was a psychiatrist.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was. I meet a lot of really interesting people, and he was saying how sometimes people who have a fear of abandonment, they don't really take the time to speak their emotions and talk about how they really feel. They think of the first answer that they think the other person wants to say, and they rush it out before they can say how they truly feel.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what I just did?
I don't want to speak for you.
Or the psychiatrist?
Yeah.
I'll
But I
do
think
that.
he would say yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Brandon.
God.
Okay.
It's like my dream to sit next to a psychiatrist on a plane because I would love to get some free therapy.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! Imagine how much they hate that.
No, I'm sure they'd like it if it was me because I'd be like, tell me about myself, and then I'd sleep because I'm in the plane.
You know, I have a psychiatrist in every city that I fly to.
Oh, that's smart.
I knew it.
That is super good for your health.
Oh yeah, we have really, really great insurance at American.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
American Airlines.
Great insurance.
That's their slogan, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's what's written on my hand.
Well, okay, so we have asked you here, obviously, because you have a connection to our other neighbor across the street. We call him Professor X. We don't know his real name. We believe he murdered, possibly, maybe, could have been his lover or wife or something. She was some
Most
kind
likely
of
not,
person
but-
who stayed there a lot.
Right.
Nancy. We call her Nancy, not her real name.
Probably
and maybe the mailman.
Probably a doctor.
Yeah, he's probably a doctor. She's probably
I think I could see her being a lawyer.
a lawyer.
Or
I could see her being a
a
psychiatrist.
homebody.
Roger,
a dead
Roger,
body?
however, though, who we also think he might have murdered, definitely a mailman.
Roger is a
100%
mailman.
mailman.
Yes.
Or
Probably a
we don't know-
little airplanes on the side. Little
yeah,
model
we don't know what he
airplanes.
did on the side. He probably had hobbies too. Like he wasn't just a mailman.
yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Bocce ball.
so we think this
Okay.
guy might be a serial killer. We're not sure. Probably not. But just in case, we want you to tell
You
us
have told us
you
what
know.
your connection to him
Okay.
is, but go ahead and let our listeners know how you're connected.
Okay, so it was my birthday,
Oh,
and
here it
I was
is. Yes.
praying that I was not going to get scheduled for work, but unfortunately, I was on call.
No.
And I was praying to God again that
Was this
maybe-
during United time or was this during?
This was during United time.
Oh my God!
and
They're
Figures.
the worst. They would call you on your birthday.
and you're gonna see the correlation between the two, like in a second. But I was very upset, obviously, that I was on call, and I was hoping, maybe they won't need me, because sometimes you just sit all day for no reason, and they're like, okay, we don't need you, you can go home. But of course, they needed me. But my supervisor, Janet Mazurko, incredible woman, she recently passed away.
Oh no!
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
What happened?
She just fell asleep.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm going to die.
No. She woke back up. And then she had a heart attack.
Oh my God.
That's the
God.
worst.
Yeah.
You normally want those two things to happen at the same time. Boy, you don't want to wake up refreshed from a nap and
Or
then
at least
your
like have a
body-
heart attack and then fall asleep.
Oh, I know. She was a very Christian woman. She would wake up every morning and sing, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice."
No,
She
no.
died while singing that song.
The
That
Lord
is-
wanted that song to be finished in heaven.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a nice sentiment,
Okay,
but I
yeah.
imagine it was horrific.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But she was very superstitious and cautious.
Okay.
And very paranoid. So she had a lot of cameras set up in her home because she was a woman who lived alone. So it was just her. She had She had 2 chinchillas. Yeah. And
Oh, I love chinchillas. They're so fluffy.
Before she was a supervisor, she was a flight attendant, and she used to do South American trips. She would go to Chile, Santiago, and she would go to Buenos Aires a lot. And she picked up chinchillas there because they make coats out of chinchillas. And, she just decided one day, she would get knickknacks from people from the places that she would visit. And she's like, I don't want a coat. I want a pet this time. So she saved chinchillas that were going to be made into a coat.
You know what I always say? You start getting knickknacks. Next step's a heart attack.
Too soon, guy.
Yeah,
What I always say that it wasn't.
You can wipe that one off your arm.
Yeah. Moving on. Sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, so my supervisor said, Denise, we're going to send you someplace amazing. You're going to have a Honolulu layover.
So it was kind of like a birthday present.
Right. So not like a turn where, you fly to Honolulu and come back. I was going to be able to stay there for 2 days. So I'm really excited. And I have these 2 customers in first class, now known as Nancy and Professor X.
They were in first class?
Yes, they were. Of course they were. They were on the upgrade list. They were actually in economy. I remember this because they weren't even in economy. Plus, they were arguing about it.
With who? Each other?
Each other at the gate before I got onto the plane. They got there extremely early. Check-in is about 2.5 hours before the flight. They were already there at the gate, which I thought was
weird.
Yeah, a little weird. Because I know, I don't know. But so finally, I'm working in first class. I come back from the galley from getting a couple of passengers drinks, because when you're in first class, as soon as you board, we like to greet you with drinks, alcoholic beverages,
and a towel.
Yes, and a couple of snacks. So
I've seen a lot of movies about first class.
Yeah. It's even better.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Airplane.
It's better than in the movies. Is that what you were saying?
It's better in the movies.
In the movies or than the movies?
Than the movies.
Yeah. Now I'm not so sure.
Can we all get first class tickets since you're on our podcast?
Honestly, I'll see what I can do.
Oh my god!
I told you what. You guys get coach. And I'll upgrade you guys for free. I'll knock some.
Can I get the little airplane pin that they give kids?
Yes.
I'll just say,
absolutely can.
There's like a surveillance convention going on down in Fort Lauderdale that I would think could be great. We could go down there. You could maybe hop on over to Boca Raton and visit your family.
Or guys, I just Googled it. There's a chinchilla convention in Vegas.
Oh, Janet. She would have flown.
Let's go. We should celebrate Janet.
Yeah, I might be
I think
allergic,
we should go to the
though.
chinchillas and not the surveillance convention.
I just think like our case is very important, but Janet.
If I'm being honest, Fort Lauderdale is such a shitty destination that I would assume that
Don't you say I love Florida.
Okay.
Michiganders
that's
love
your
Florida.
Opinion, and I
it's
respect
warm.
it.
Least
It's
favorite.
warm.
You don't
Least
have to
favorite.
respect
There's
it.
a whole East Coast for warmth, and a West Coast,
There's
and a
a lot
below
of
the
places.
equator. You don't have to limit yourself to Fort Lauderdale in the future.
Let me tell you,
Amen.
Denise, you're my favorite.
Thank you
Michelle,
very much.
You're next.
I feel very
so
passionate about
nice.
locations. But anyway, they were arguing on this flight. And I remember passing out the drinks, and it was so crazy to me. This woman looked so upset. And her husband fell asleep. And mind you, this is a
We don't know if they're married.
Oh, well.
I would make the same assumption you do.
Wait, could you tell?
The disdain. It seemed so
Rings.
long term.
Did you see a ring? Did you see a ring?
You know what? My boyfriend at the time would not propose, so I was very, in order to center myself, my psychiatrist.
You couldn't look at rings.
Yeah, my psychiatrist.
Avoid making
yes, in
direct eye
Cleveland
contact.
said
with the ring.
don't
and you
even
can't
think about
watch
jewelry.
the movie The Ring.
No.
Oh, definitely avoid the ring.
No.
And
I thought that was a rom-com, and it turned out not to be.
No.
Oh.
So.
And I'm sitting in the jump seat mid-flight, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, let me go check on the passengers, see if anyone needs any Evian or something like that.
Man, they serve Evian on the planes now?
In first class, absolutely.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I forgot we're in first class.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine it.
Yes.
But this is United, so they serve it in a bucket. They give it to you like in a dirty bucket. So it's like...
That's actually an insider secret that I told you beforehand.
Oh, sorry.
Under the guise of...
Like it's
Well,
in
wait, at least, okay, you don't work for United anymore, though, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's the
It's
old
okay.
hat. You work for...
They're everywhere.
That is unsettling.
Anyway, so I went
Sorry,
to
United.
pour Evian for her, and she just starts crying to me.
No.
And I say, ma'am, I'm so sorry. Do you need any water? And she says, I don't need any more liquids. I fill up on tears every day.
Oh my God. That's terrible.
And
That's
I
the saddest
swear
line.
my heart just broke for her.
Is it weird that I have the same thing written on my hand?
You have really large hands.
Yeah, it's genetic.
Did you write that on your hand just now, Guy?
He has a pen right there.
Yeah, he's been
Everyone.
writing and erasing so many things during this whole conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote it.
That's interesting. I have a psychiatrist in Denver who might be able to decode that.
Oh my gosh,
That writing
Denver's
habit.
psych.
Honestly, I think I just seek attention because I never got it from my mother that I never met.
Are you
Whoa.
a psychiatrist?
No, but I've seen them in a lot of movies.
Okay.
Sixth Sense.
Yes.
I thought that
got
was
a
a
good
rom-com
choice.
when I first watched it.
Then The Sixth Sense was love.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a good movie. Remake.
Well, here's what I'll say. So Nancy, we know that she has a notebook that she kept.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah.
We
went
haven't
over-
been able to find it.
Journaled on the plane.
I was gonna say that sounded to like drink your own tears every day.
It was so
Again, so
poetic.
poetic. She's got to be writing some. All the
my
answers
God.
are in that notebook. I know it.
Well,
Yeah, I always wonder if she was an author and like, because we don't know her real name.
Right.
I'm like, we don't know.
all I can say is I don't know if they have money or they have a good deal, but I actually saw them at the Crew Hotel. And
When you landed.
yes, and I'll tell you the bizarre thing about this. I don't know if their fight continued in the terminal or not, because when the crew goes to the hotel, we have to wait for everyone to deplane and get off the plane. We have to clear things out. And then we're lucky enough to have a bus that provides transportation. It picks us up at the gate, and then we have to go in this weird route, and then we get dropped off at the hotel. But definitely a passenger should make it there before us, even if they're waiting at baggage claim.
Right.
So they get there right when we get there. And, they're arguing at the front desk, and I'm trying not to be nosy.
But you heard what
You've
they
gotta
were.
listen in. You've gotta.
She said something about they had pre-planned to have separate rooms.
My God.
Maybe they're not married.
Maybe.
I think that's a sign of.
Or they're going.
She could be his
Love on the
lawyer.
rocks.
Right. But he wanted a honeymoon suite.
For himself. I've done that before
No.
because I like to have space
No,
when
Michelle, I think-
when I'm traveling. I just like to have like my own space, and I like to pretend that I could be on a honeymoon. And I think it's very normal. I would like it to be normal for people, single people, to book honeymoon
No, I said they
suites.
were arguing because they were supposed to have the separate rooms, but then he wanted to upgrade to one full room for them.
Oh my God.
But
She
she
was
seemed
angry
upset
about
about that.
sharing a room
And I was
with
like-
a murderer.
I was like, what is this relationship?
Yeah.
Why would you go all the way to Hawaii with someone from Chicago? This is a 9.5-hour flight and not want a room with them.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems like.
I think the thing that was the most interesting in your email that you sent us before we obviously told you to come on the show was that you, in a weird turn of events, ended up they did get the room, they got the honeymoon suite,
Right.
and you ended up doing a little bit of sleuthing on your own, and you were in their room before they got there. You hid in the closet, and you heard even more of this argument.
I hope American Airlines they don't sponsor this, do they?
No, we don't have
no
sponsors.
sponsors.
You used an alias, I'm sure, when you came on the show, right? You didn't say your real name, did you?
It's fine. We'll.
It's okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
We
I
can.
don't want to get fired from another airline.
You got fired from United?
She had her job taken from her.
It's fired. She got fired.
Not taken from her.
Anyway, so I have a psychiatrist in Helena, Montana, and
Hannah Montana.
No.
Helena.
Helena.
You get the best of both worlds.
check it out, take it slow.
Then you rock out the show.
You get the
Best of both
worlds. Mix it all together, and you know that it's the best of both worlds. Hey, You get the limo out.
Oh, get it.
Whoa. Hot style, every shoe, every girl out. You think the simple life could be kind of fun. It's really you and no one ever discovered. Whoever thought that a girl like me would double as a superstar? Phil of the future, he's a 22nd century man.
We have shifted.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, so sorry about that. I used to want to be on Broadway.
Well,
That's
you
a long
have
story.
You got the
You
job.
should. This is what okay. For fear of your job, we won't venture into it.
Wait, can you give us one word that you heard
Just
in the
one,
in the room?
maybe one little tidbit of a clue that we
While
should
you were
look
in the
into,
room.
something to guide our search from here on. Anything would be appreciated.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be as succinct as Guy can be sometimes.
It could
but
be one
can
word,
just
it could be
a
10
single-
words.
It can be just
Okay. I think this is going to be the key.
Yeah.
Crockpot.
Pot.
Pot.
I'll write that down. I'm writing that down.
The mac and cheese. The pasta.
Crockpot.
The pasta.
He makes it in a crock pot.
The pasta.
Okay.
Okay, that
We'll
gives
have
us
to
a
come
lot
back
to think
this.
about. Okay, now here's our last question for you. We're always interested in getting oh wait, I should say this is a segment that we call How He Done Did It.
So much better. I
So
can't
much better
believe you
when that
almost
happens.
just
I know
hopped
it
into
feels
that.
weird to just fade into
Yeah.
our next segment. So here's the question. If a flight attendant were to do a crime like Professor X has, any crime maybe, but especially murder, if a flight attendant or someone associated with planes were to do a murder, what should we be looking for? What should we be aware of? What
Oh my
insight
gosh.
can you give us?
You just have to find like a big human blender and make like a human smoothie out of them. Do you want to know why?
A jet engine.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because we don't have the liquid restriction.
Oh.
We don't have to put, unless we're traveling to London, because Heathrow's very strict.
What do you mean liquid restriction?
You know, the 4-ounce bottles.
Gotta keep 'em in
we
small
don't have
bottles.
You don't do that on American?
It depends on location. There are some airports that require that, and Heathrow is one of them. But most flight
Avoid
attendants.
that airport.
But if you're involved with like flight attending or anything like that, you would know which airports are the good ones to commit said crimes in. I feel like, and then you'd know I can get past this security person. I can get the liquids through this gate.
Well,
that
now
gate.
I can't use a blender anymore.
I
Because
think
that
you
makes
can.
me. I
Well,
know.
you
now
have
I'm
a
gonna
small-
be.
you have
I'm
a
gonna
small
be
one.
thinking about. I have the magic bullet, but now I'm gonna be thinking about this when I'm making my smoothies.
You
And I
would
make
have
a
to spend
smoothie every. I put
hours
I put-
magic bulleting someone.
I've
now
stuck,
I'm thinking about that. Now I can't use
guys,
my magic bullet.
I've stuck my hand into many a blender.
No,
and
you
let
haven't.
me tell you, they have safety precautions put into place so that thing does not go off
It's
accidentally.
not possible.
It's kind of like when you go in a garage and there's like that thing, and if you hit the thing, the garage door won't go down.
Let me tell you, I have 7 fingers to prove that it doesn't happen every time.
Oh.
You've got more than 7 fingers. We can see your hands.
And you've written all over them.
Yeah, they're all full of words on each finger.
Oh, you know what I always say? If you want a joke to land, make it about your hand.
If any of you out there would like to help us with any other clues, anything that you have out there in listener land, we have an email address. I don't know if anybody else knows this besides the few people we've had on who have introduced
Yeah,
themselves to us
other than
through
that,
the email
yeah.
address, because nobody else is writing to this thing.
Google emails us every once in a while.
Yeah, just to make sure that we're still there.
Yeah, they like make us verify with the phone number. and
Yeah,
stuff.
by the way, this account's going to be shut down.
Right. You don't get more emails.
Right. So if you want to email us, that's at sleuthmates@gmail.com. SLEUTHMATES@gmail.com. We also have a phone number. You can call that phone number, leave a voicemail, or text it anything you wish at 815-570-9979. 9. Feel free to send us whatever there.
Whatever you want. And also, before I say our iTunes information, I just want to say thank you, Denise.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for the first class tickets you're going to get us.
Crockpot.
Thank
I
you.
think you helped us solve, I think we figured out that he's a serial killer. You helped us solve it. He's killed the mailman.
No, we haven't solved
He's
it
killed
yet.
Nancy.
We haven't, not conclusively.
He uses the crack pot to kill people.
I don't know. It says on my hand that we solved it.
Yeah, but that's something you put
If
there.
I would have
and
had a
that's not
hunch,
definitive.
or if I would have known, I would have said something to TSA. That's why they always tell us, if you see something, say something. I should have spoken up.
If you see something, email us.
Email us.
And
If
remember
you see
to
a crack pot.
Yes, and remember to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. And love thy neighbor, or they might just murder you. Bye.
So many questions left to answer. If Guy's notes are written on his hands, does that make it handwritten handwriting? I know what a waffle is, but what's a stroop? What's the deal with airline food? Am I right? And of course, is Professor X a serial killer? All this and more next time on Our Neighbor's a Murderer.